Well, happening right now at 5 o'clock, folks in an apartment complex in southeast Albuquerque are out of their homes for a SWAT situation. This is on Louisiana near Catherine.
Yeah, we understand police are searching for a suspect wanted on felony domestic violence charges. Crisis intervention training and negotiators have been trying to get in touch with the person for hours but have had no luck. Police say the suspect is not cooperating at this point. Residents and those in the area are being asked to be patient and please avoid the area if possible. We do have a news crew at the scene and we will bring you an update as soon as it becomes available. And overnight in the metro area, Albuquerque firefighters sprang into action quickly to extinguish a fire in the 300 block of Alvarado Northeast. That's just a few blocks away from San Mateo and Central. Crews found heavy smoke and flames inside the apartment, as well as a man who was sleeping and his dog. They pulled them out. The man was treated for possible smoke inhalation and taken to the hospital. The dog is expected to be okay. Crews did manage to contain the fire to that apartment. 2 other units were also damaged, though, because of smoke. No word on what started the fire.
And new this morning at 5:02 out of Colorado. 3 people are hurt after a shooting outside a concert at Red Rocks Amphitheater. It's in Golden, just outside Denver. The violence started in a parking lot. After that concert ended, the people who were hurt drove to Denver, where police found them and rushed them to the hospital. Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies say the amphitheater was shut down after the shooting. They are now looking for whoever fired the shots. Nas, Schoolboy Q, and Flying Lotus were all playing at that concert. All right, back home here in New Mexico, a report just out from state police has some clues about why federal agents searched a sheriff's home.
That lawman is Arriba County Sheriff Tommy Rodella. A man by the name of Michael Tafoya told state police that Sheriff Rodella and his son chased and assaulted him back in March. Tafoya says the 2 men were tailgating him in a Jeep and that he didn't know that it was Sheriff Rodella at the time. At one point, Tafoya claims that the sheriff lunged at him with a gun. Now, officials say after a struggle ensued, Rodella's son pulled Tafoya out of the car and onto the ground. Tafoya was arrested, but his charges were later dropped. By the way, a sheriff spokesperson tells News 13 that Tafoya showed no signs of any injuries during his arrest. Transparency, openness, public accountability.
Yeah, those are all values that Albuquerque's new police chief and his administration have pledged to uphold as they battle to fix the badly battered police department. And then we get to the case of Ruben Nieto. Back in February 2013, APD says it had solid evidence Ruben Nieto was dealing child pornography. But it wasn't until May of this year that Nieto got arrested 15 months later and by a different agency. It's all for what investigators say was a different batch of child porn. While the first child porn case sat on an APD detective's desk, investigators say Nieto raped his teenage daughter. When we asked APD why there was no arrest, we got no response. Then our on special assignment team uncovered a slew of emails between APD, City Hall, and their communications staff debating whether to respond to us. The emails show APD spokeswoman Janet Blair suggested to her bosses to let the story go and hope it, quote, has no legs. Then last night, Ms. Blair issued a statement saying APD detectives are actively investigating the case. The child pornography case against Nieto has gone to the grand jury, but the rape case is still at the district attorney's office, where they say they are waiting for more evidence before deciding how to go ahead and move forward. Well, 5:04 now, a guard at the Bernalillo County Jail is waking up on the wrong side of the bars this morning.
Yeah, he's accused of raping a female inmate and some other creepy behavior. Andres Verdugo has worked at MDC since 2007. 8 female inmates claim when he was working overnight shifts, he asked them to wear tighter jumpsuits, watched them shower, even gave them pizza and soda to get them to strip. Now, the inmates claim Verdugo threatened to hurt them if they had a problem with all of that. When deputies investigated, one of the women told them Verdugo pressured her into having sex. The former Sandia High School athletic director suspected of trying to frame a coach has a new job. APS confirms Tom Nauber is now a social studies teacher at Volcano Vista High School. He was removed from Sandia after a closed disciplinary hearing a few weeks back. Last month, News 13 first reported that Nauber was accused of planting pot paraphernalia in the office of head boys basketball coach Alvin Broussard. Sources say a security camera caught Nauber entering Broussard's empty office a day before or a day after, I should say, that Nauber claimed an anonymous call came in about the paraphernalia. APS isn't saying whether there is a criminal investigation.
We now know the name of the bicyclist killed by a rail runner train on Monday. He is Joseph Salazar, was 41 years old and was from Espanola. The religious scapular he was wearing around his neck here helped investigators identify him after they released pictures of it this week. Police say Salazar was not wearing headphones when he was hit. They think he may have just moved to Santa Fe.
Some definite progress to report this morning in the huge wildfire that is burning on the Navajo Nation in western New Mexico. The 21 square mile fire north of Gallup is now 20% contained. With the winds down yesterday, crews were able to start getting lines around the fire. There is still a lot of smoke and flames. The evacuation orders remain in place. The fire broke out a week ago today after officials say someone was burning weeds. It has destroyed at least 5 structures. In some international news this morning, President Obama is sending American soldiers back to Iraq on a limited mission. This as Sunni militants tried to take over that country.
We will help Iraqis as they take the fight to terrorists who threaten the Iraqi people, the region, and American interests as well.
Islamic militants continue to battle for control of Iraq's biggest oil refinery as they try to take over cities and towns. They are on their way to Baghdad. Now, the mission of the Green Berets being deployed by Obama is to gain intelligence on insurgents and advise Iraqi security forces, but not to engage in combat. Secretary of State John Kerry is headed to the Middle East and Europe this weekend to work with his counterparts to get a handle on the crisis. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill agree it is time the U.S. takes action, but some Republicans say that the U.S. strategy needs to be more defined. If you happen to be near Nob Hill here in town tonight, you'll probably see some anti-war protesters. They're going to be outside UNM's bookstore off of Central and Cornell starting at 6 tonight. Protesters with the Answer Coalition will have a message, and that message is no new U.S. war on Iraq. Well, if you feel the tensions in Iraq firsthand, you will, if you haven't already, you're going to. We're talking gas prices are going to be affected.
Yeah, have you noticed they are up? In fact, they have hit a 6-year high right now. It's thanks at least in part to the crisis in Iraq, one of the world's largest oil exporters. Violence there has pushed crude oil prices quite high. The good news, if there is any here, some analysts don't think the national average in the U.S. will spike above $4 a gallon like it did back in 2008. New Mexico is still on the bottom end of U.S. prices. Our gas prices are up 6 cents in the last week. We're hovering just below $3.50 a gallon.
Not good.